evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday, November 12th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. I call the meeting to order, and I'll have roll call starting on the left.
Bart Haskell.
June Gaggy.
John Meyer.
Carla Desjardins.
Dan Kipskip.
Ryan Gray.
Sean Spall.
All right. We do have a quorum, and I'll be appointing Dan Kipskevich for Frank Mills this evening. So we have public hearing, item A, 25-3ZC of Joan Cormier, requesting a zone change of zoning district from RA60 residential to commercial 1 for property located at 1261 Norwich Road, assessors map 5, block 4, lot 44. Do we have speaking for the applicant? Just step up to the microphone and describe your request.
Okay, I'm Joan Cormier.
Give me 1 second.
I live on Route 12, Plainfield, and I would like to change my zoning to commercial. For the simple reason all my surrounding neighbors are all commercial.
Okay. Thank you. This is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience with a comment or a question on this application, this is your opportunity to step up to the microphone. Any comments or questions from board members? Comments or questions from staff? Okay. Hearing and seeing no other public comment on this application, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
I have a motion by Bart to close the public hearing and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to item B, 25-4ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting a zone change of property located at 0 Norwich Road from RA60 residential to industrial 3, assessors map 17, block 36, lot 31. Do we have anyone speaking for the applicant this evening? Do you know if he's planning on attending? Okay.
So I did speak to him on Monday, I believe, and I was going to be here. He might be already late.
Okay. So we can table this one to the end and see if he shows up. So I'll entertain a motion to table this application.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, so tabling to see if he shows up. Item C is also Rodney Galton. So I would ask to table this until.
Make a motion.
All right, table.
Second.
Second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, table. So item D, 25-20SP of Ryan Durfee, requesting a special permit for a 340 square foot accessory dwelling unit above the attached garage on property located at 34 Hemlock Drive, assessors map 8, block 53A, lot 87, RA30 zoning district. Do we have anyone to speak for the applicant? Come on up and just give us a brief summary of what it is you're looking to do.
Good evening. We live at 34 Hemlock Drive. I'm the owner and my husband, and we have a safe son who's 21, and he lives at the house. And what we want to do is make him a very small apartment above the garage, and try to teach him to live independently. Hopefully, he's capable, I believe, but he has a heart condition, has cancer disorder, and agoraphobia. So, and we're getting old. So we're hoping to be able to just put an apartment there.
Thank you. This is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience with a comment or a question on this application, this is your opportunity. Okay, any comments or questions from board members? Any comments or questions from staff?
No, this one's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Move to close public hearing.
I have a motion to close by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. So we're moving on to the tabled item B, 25-4ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting a zone change of property located at 0 Norwich Road from RA60 residential to industrial 3, assessors map 17, block 36, lot 31. And do we have speaking for the applicant?
Rodney Dalton.
All right, come on up, sir.
Thank you.
In the corner corner, if you're gonna borrow from.
Thank you, Greg.
Mr. Liz.
I could have said mine. What's going to be the best spot? Okay. Ron D. Galton, I'm representing Vineyard Sky and PLH. Actually, I have 2 public hearings tonight.
Yep.
And we are discussing the zone change for 0 Norwich Road and 0 Plainfield Pike. And this would be from residential RA 60 to industrial 3, which is the new zone which was created and went into effect October 1st. Now, we currently own property in this area. Right now, we have 2 solar facilities on our property here, right through this area here, and then we have another solar facility through here, and we are currently working on our 3rd solar facility here. We own this property to the south, which is essentially landlocked property. There is an access easement that was granted through the state property in this area here, but that's all wetland, so essentially these are landlocked parcels.
Just
So-
for clarification, since we do have 2 applications for the 2 different properties, if we can just focus on the Norwich Road property
Okay.
first.
Yep.
That way,
Yep,
if
very
someone's
good.
here specifically about that one, they can make sure they have
Okay.
questions, then we'll address the other application.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So there are a few different tracks to the 0 Norwich Road property. And what I've done is I've outlined where the industrial zone actually stops. You can see one of the tracks in the 0 Norwich Road property is currently zoned industrial. So what we'd like to do is we would like to change the zone of the rest of the piece of property to industrial 3, which allows for solar and solar only in that zone. And we do understand that, special permits still needed, but again, we are looking to utilize this property, 0 Norwich Road, at least a large majority of it for solar.
This is a public hearing, so if there's anyone with a comment or question on this application, this is your opportunity. Yep, step on up. And we're just addressing the 0 Norwich Road right now.
Which one is that?
The 0 Norwich Road property?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the one
Could you
on-
point out the 0 Norwich Road on
Is
that,
that
please?
Route 12 or is that Route 14?
Yeah, can you turn that a little bit more to the audience? Thank you.
So again, 0 Norwich Road has a couple of different tracks in it. So this portion here, which is already zoned industrial, it has this track here, which is behind the residential here. And it also has this large track down to the southwest, which is also behind the residential.
So which part comes off Route 14? I have a hard time.
There is no part that's off of Route 14.
So there's 2 applications. So there is another one for Plainfield Pike, so that will be discussed next. So this is just the 0 Norwich Road, which is, so it is near the U line, correct?
It is.
Yes, so could you just point out the U line on the
U
map?
line is up here. U line is
Okay.
is here to the east. The residential subdivision is to the south here, and we are smack dab in the middle here. Okay?
Closer to 14 then.
Excuse
The
me?
portion that's closer to 14.
If you could have your name on the record with your question, and we have a gentleman waiting for his question, just so we can keep order here. All right?
So there's a few different tracks that go along with this property. We have this one here in the center. We have this one here behind the residential, just west of the U-line property. And then we have this one to the southwest, which is right behind the residential.
Is there driveway access to 0 North Road?
There is, through our current property, yes.
And your property has a driveway on what road?
That is coming in off of Plainfield.
Correct. So essentially, it's a landlocked lot,
Yes,
so it's behind.
it's behind everything.
So the driveway access is Route 14, Route 14A, Plainfield Pike.
Yes.
But it's 0 Norwich Road because it doesn't have road frontage.
It has no road frontage, that is.
So it's a landlocked property, that's why it's identified as 0 Norwich Road.
Excuse me, sir, can I get your name and address for the record, please?
Paul Fertoni, 89 Colonial Road.
Thank you. And you've been waiting patiently, thank you.
Thank you. My name is John Schmidt, I'm an engineer with T&L Companies, tonight representing Plainfield LLC, which is the Uline butter just to the east. I think my question's already been answered. Just wondering how access to the property is going to be considered in the landlocked. Sounds like the access will be through the current access to the other parcel where shared access to that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I heard.
Yes. So currently, right now, this piece in the middle, and I hate to, if you want to come around this side, I hate to keep switching this around. This piece right here, actually most of this land here has already been cleared. We did that several years ago. And we use this area specifically right now for sheep. So we are utilizing this existing access drive to get back here currently, and that's how it's going to remain.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from audience members on the 0 Norwich Road property?
Now, you said most of it's going to be for solar panels, and the
If you
rest
could
is going to
state
be
your name
for...
again.
Paul Fertoni,
Thank you.
89 Colonial Road.
Thank you. So tonight's application is for a zone change to Industrial 3.
Understood.
Under the Industrial 3 regulations, the only use allowed is solar panels. Should the zone change be approved, they still have to return for a special permit with a full site plan, which would then outline the exact location and setup of the solar panels.
And would that include any lighting that goes on in the place?
So under the special permit with the site plan review, if there is any lighting plan, that would be included in the site plan as well. So tonight's application is just, do we want to change the zone to allow for solar? But it's not a site plan review, so the specifics of traffic flow, spacing, setbacks, lighting, none of that is this evening. This is just, do we want to make the zone change? So there'll be a follow-up meeting, if approved, a follow-up meeting for the actual special permit with the site plan, which would include all those other elements. Any other comments or questions from audience members? Any comments or questions from board members?
This is the one with the sheep.
Yes, the annotated the sheep are on that property right now.
Yeah, I get you.
How's that going? They just live up there?
They don't live up there. We actually rotate our sheep through most of our sites. So they'll, so we bring them in a trailer, we drop them off for a couple of weeks, and then go back and pick them up and rotate them to a different site, so. Yeah, but that area, again, most of this area has been cleared for that purpose. But right now, we're really just focusing on this area up here, because it's the one that's easily accessible.
Any other questions from board members? All right. Comments or questions from staff? All right. Any other from public? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by June and a second by Bart to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. So 25-5ZC of Rodney Dalton, requesting zone change of property located at 0 Plainfield Pike Road from RA 60 residential to industrial 3, assessors map 17, block 35, lot 46.
Okay, again, Rodney Dalton for the record. And this is specifically for the 0 Plainfield Pike property, which is this piece of the property right here in the middle. Again, that area is landlocked. It abuts 395. There is no access currently to that piece of property. And again, we are looking to get this changed to I-3, which does allow for solar development.
Okay. So the Plainfield Pike property also does not have road frontage on Plainfield Pike?
It does not.
So the access would continue to be the current driveway on Plainfield Pike?
That is correct, yes.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody with a comment or question on this application, this is your opportunity. Comment or question from board members? Comment or question from staff? Okay. And hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Bart to close, second by John, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to the regular meeting, call the meeting to order. Additions and corrections to the agenda. So staff has provided a list of 5 items to add to the agenda. The first 2 were received on Wednesday, the next 3 were received on Thursday, and the last 1 was received on Monday. I have spoken with staff about ensuring that in the future, revised agendas are posted so that all of these items are not added the night of the meeting. There were some extenuating circumstances with staff and the holiday, so a revised agenda was not posted, but we will rectify that moving forward. So for this evening, there are those 5 items to add. All of the items will require public hearings, so none of the applications will be acted on tonight.
Move to add items D through I to the new block of tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Bart to add all the items D through I as new business, and June seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, items are added. Moving on to citizen participation. So this is opportunity for the public to address the board on an item that is not a closed public hearing or a pending application. So if there's any other item that the public would like to address. Okay, seeing none. And before we go on to unfinished old, I just want to further explain what that means and why we say that. So planning and zoning has very specific rules about how and when we can receive information on applications. So the public hearings are the opportunity for you to express your opinion, your comments, your questions about applications. Once those public hearings are closed, it is actually illegal for this board to consider information outside the public hearing process. It's considered ex parte communication. So like a jury, we have to disregard anything that might be shouted or shown regarding an application where there's not a current public hearing being opened on it. So with that, I would just ask that members of the public, we are moving now on to the applications and deliberation of the board. We cannot take public comment on the pending applications we're about to review because all public hearings are closed at this time. All right, so if we can all let's follow those Robert's rules, I would appreciate it. All right, so moving on to our old business. Item A, 25-2ZC of Ernest Colello Jr., requesting a change of zoning district from RA 30 residential to C2 commercial for property located at 495 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 1P, Block 53, Lot 20. So this was continued last month to give board members the opportunity to review the C2 uses. So the public hearing was closed and board deliberation was continued. So are there any items for discussion from board members?
I didn't have anything specific, just I went through the POC trying to make sure I understood the concepts of the enterprise corridor and what we were talking about in relation to those avenues and those junctions.
Okay. Any other comments from board on this application? So in looking at the plan of conservation and development, it does talk about trying to keep mixed uses in that area. So I would just, caution the board that if every application for commercial is approved, then you lose the mixed use purpose. So that's just a point of consideration and deliberation of how you want to proceed with that.
The big thing is we can't control if the business is going to be consistent with the historical area there. We could change the zoning.
Correct.
And then we have this list of these many things, from restaurants to car wash. So.
Correct. So once the zone is changed, then anything that's a permitted use in that zone is permitted. So there is a list of almost, it's over 26 uses that are by right. By right means you change the zone, an applicant comes in, they're allowed to do any of these uses without any additional public involvement because the zone has been changed. Then the second part of that is there's another category of uses called special permit uses. So in that case, a special permit use would require an additional public hearing, But any of the uses by right, because the zone has changed, those businesses are allowed to proceed. Correct.
Based on the inputs we got, the road that parallels the property is the northern border of the Lawton Mills Historic District, correct? So the property itself does not sit within the square district recognized by the federal government.
That was the information you verified. Is that right, Ryan?
We actually found that that parcel was included
Okay.
against the owner's wishes. They actually wrote a letter to the Historical Society, the National Historical Society, and stated they did not want to be in it. They were put it anyway. The property itself has really no historical significance. It was simply the house, which the house may or may not remain. We don't know.
Sure.
Looking at the location, the traffic counts, the fact that it's in the conservation and development for future enterprise commercial, meaning they would like it to become a parcel that receives tax breaks for commercial. Everything about the POC kind of points to this corner being developed commercial. It's commercial across the street. Commercial can go to the north.
So we have conflicting then because it is included in the historic district and it's included in a development enterprise zone.
So the National Historic, simply because the house was built in the 1800s,
Yep.
which we don't know if the house is going to remain or not, there's nothing we can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
From where I'm sitting, that parcel should be commercial.
Is the house unsafe, or is it?
That's not a determination that we would, that's a building official decision. So that's not something that we could consider in our deliberation. Because we are not responsible for the safety of the building, that is the building official.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other items for discussion on this one?
I guess part of the consideration where it's been vacant for a while, or, underused properties for, years, where it should be part of the equation to start, looking for ways to make sure we understand those things. I like that it is adjacent to a lot of the commercial properties, again, on the fringe, I get it. The building, again, buildings only last so long, takes a lot of money and upkeep, right? We all understand that. If somebody's interested in it, they're interested in actually utilizing the property, which will then bring tax base to the town. I read everything that you wrote up in the staff report. It makes sense to me based on all that. So I don't see any issues.
Any other comments from board members?
I'm just looking at the list.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose, right?
Yeah.
Because as we've already discussed, currently zoned as an RA 30, there can be up to 8 residential units on the property. So if nothing changes, that property can support 8 residential units. Correct. If it's changed to C2, then it allows all of the uses in the C2 zone by right or by special permit. So that's the decision we have to make. In looking at the plan of conservation and development, it does promote mixed uses in that zone. So when I look at what's there currently, and as Brian pointed out, there's commercial across the street, diagonally across the street, a couple lots down, there's also commercial. There is residential on both sides of this property. So the question is, if we want to keep that mixed use purpose, is it better to stay as residential or to change to commercial? So that's the decision to be made this evening. So does anyone have a motion on the application?
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the zoning change from RA 30 to C2 commercial, and I would further reiterate that in accordance with the POCD is consistent with the mixed enterprise corridor that the town is striving for based on that plan.
And would you also have the effective date added to your motion?
Let's make the effective date December 1st. Is that fair? 2026.
25.
I'm sorry, 25.
I'll say it.
I have a motion by Bart to approve the zone change. I have a second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I oppose. Since there is opposition, I will ask for a roll call vote, starting with Bart.
Yay.
June? Nay. Okay. John? Nay. Carla started nay. Dan Cascadich. Yay. So we have a split vote of 2 yays, 3 nays, so the application has been denied. Moving on to item B, 25-3ZC of Joan Cormier requesting a change of zoning district from RA60 residential to C1 commercial for property located at 1261 Norwich Road, Assessors Map 5, Block 4, Lot 44. Items for discussion on this application.
I had a question on the map. The drawing shows that the R60 in question is kind of a sliver between 2 others that aren't marked. Are those residential commercials on both sides of this property?
I believe they are. Is that right, Brian?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
When we look at the map, the particular property that's up for application right now, is that between 2 other RA60 zones? That's the way the map looks.
Is, I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
So, thank you, Ryan. I'm just trying to understand it.
Yes, so the property to the west, that is an RA60 zone, there's a planned development district rule for commercial use on there. So while it's zoned RA60, it's approved for commercial use.
So it's mixed uses.
Yes.
Okay.
And then to the north, half of it is a house up front, and in the rear, it's part of A&H, and they have an ongoing excavation operation, so it's an industrial use in the residential zone.
Okay.
So does this need to be changed, or can we make it dual use as you described to the property below? You said it's dual, it's RA and C2?
No. So a planned development district is like an overlay district.
Yes.
So what a planned development district does is it's a special permit application where an applicant can come in and determine that they want to have partial residential and partial business uses.
Okay.
So the underlying zone doesn't have to change to have a planned development district.
That's what I'm missing. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Appreciate
So
that.
this application is asking for the underlying zone to change.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions on this application? So considering the immense lot surrounding it, all along Route 12, I would say that this zone change does make sense, considering all the development surrounding it. It's kind of on an island on its own in between.
So I would move to approve the zoning change from RA60 residential to C1 commercial. And I would say that it is consistent based on the industrial and commercial of the area. And I recommend the effective date of December 1, 2025.
Okay, I have a motion by Bart with the effective date.
I'll second that.
And I have a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, application is approved with the effective date of December 1st. Item C, 25-4ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting zone change of property located at 0 Norwich Road from RA60 residential to industrial 3, Assessors Map 17, Block 36, Lot 31. Any items for discussion on this application? So considering the use is limited to solar panels, which are on the adjacent properties, and that it does have to come back for a special permit for the lighting, for the placement of setbacks, the buffer zones, and all of those other things, I would be favorable for this.
This one has more distance relative to the residential as well, because it kisses the corner of the colonial area.
Correct.
And the other one is more association. But again, that special permit, I think, is going to be an important one to discuss those details, right? And including things like, is there any commission plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Starting to learn a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Those things you want to start working through. Some of the gravel operations, land reclamation. So, okay.
So do we have a motion on this application?
Given the landlocked nature of the parcel and the fact that the zone requested, I would move that we approve the zone change from RA60 residential to industrial 3. And it is consistent with this board's direction in trying to support the energy needs of the town as well as the local community. And I would recommend an approval date effective December 1, 2025.
Okay, I have a motion by Bart.
I'll second his motion.
I have a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Application is approved. All right. Item D, 25-5ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting zone change of property located at 0 Plainfield Pike Road from RA60 residential to industrial 3, Assessors Map 17, Block 35, lot 46, and my comment for this is the same.
So my motion is gonna be the same, that I would move we approve the residential change from RA60 residential to industrial 3. It is consistent with this board commission's consistent position on energy, and as a result, I recommend an effective date of December 1st, 2025.
Okay. I have a motion by Bart and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved with the effective date of December 1st, 2025. Item E, 25-11 SPL of Plainfield Pike LLC, BL Companies, requesting a site plan review for modifications to the approved parking lot layout at 113 Plainfield Pike, Assessors Map 25, Block 36, Lot 32, Industrial 2 zoning district. Do we have speaking for the applicant? Is the applicant here tonight, Ryan? Oh, okay, there he is. I was going to say, I thought I saw you.
Thanks, John Schmitz, still here with BL Companies, 355 Research Park, Northern Downtown. I think last year, one of the things we were looking to provide the commission was a final review by the town engineer. I believe he's completed his review. I've spoken to him, I don't put words in his mouth, so I'll let him tell you what he told me, but I believe that we're all set.
Sean, could you just give an overview summary of your review of the site?
Yep, so for the change, they had a larger drive aisle there, a larger parking lot area. They essentially reduced the size of that area there around the back of the building. So they reduced the impervious area. They did not change anything stormwater storage related back there. So the chambers and all the detention that they had previously gotten approved is untouched. All that they did was reduce the amount of pavement behind the building. They provided all the calculations and everything to support this application, and that's it. I believe it meets all standards.
Okay. So staff did indicate that all comments have been addressed. They recommend approval with the following condition. Activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with the Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Any questions from the board on this application?
Move to approve with stipulations as stated by the chair.
Okay, I have a motion by Bart to approve with that condition as read. I have a second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, application is approved. Moving on to the second application on your, I was going to say, you have two applications, remember. All right, so the next one is, or actually, I'm sorry, the agenda has somebody else first, so we'll get back to you. All right. So next on the agenda, following the agenda, item F, 25-20 SP of Ryan Durfee requesting a special permit for a 340 square foot accessory dwelling unit above the attached garage on property located at 34 Hemlock Drive, Assessors Map 8, Block 53A, Lot 87, RA30 zoning district. So staff did indicate that this met regulation. Were there any other items for discussion from board members?
Move to approve the application.
I have a motion to approve by Bart and a second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Now moving on to item G, 25-12 SPL of Plainfield Pike LLC, BL Companies requesting site plan review for modifications to previously approved Northwest Stormwater Management Basin at 113 Plainfield Pike, Assessors Map 25, Block 36, Lot 32, Industrial 2 zoning district. And speaking for the applicant.
Good evening again, John. This is BL. This application involves replacing the existing surface basin with underground storage chamber system, which is the grass. We presented at the last meeting. Again, we provided some additional information, some storage calculations, O&M manuals, things like that to staff. I believe staff's reviewed that, and I think everything's been addressed at this point.
So this is where the above ground retaining basin is going underground now?
That's correct. So this is adjacent to Plainfield Highway.
And were there any additional comments, or you want to give an overview of your review, Sean?
Yep, that's exactly it. Whenever you drive by U-Line, kind of in the front there's an above ground retention area that's just being converted to underground storage. They provided revised calculations, meets all standards, and we had a few issues with just runoff that was being collected in that above ground retention area before, that it was going to kind of flow over the top. They revised the plans, added a swale there to collect and intercept that, so that way it would be collected. And so I believe it meets all regulations.
All right. So staff did indicate that their comments have been addressed, and they recommend approval with the following condition. Activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to water resources and adjacent land. Such practices shall be in accordance with the Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Do I have a motion on this application?
Move to approve the stipulations as read by the chair.
I'll second that. All right, we have a motion to approve with the condition as read, second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Application is approved. All right, thank you. Moving on to new business. Item A, 25-14 SPL of Jim Lucek, requesting site plan review for a 36 by 77 office building on property located at 954 Norwich Road, Assessors Map 10, Block 13B, Lot 15, C1 zoning district. And we have for the applicant?
Hi, Jim Luzak, National Engineer with Civil Solutions for the applicant, Roman Construction. Can't find it. You looking still or?
I'll keep talking. I'm good, guys.
All right,
I promise I gave it up.
we got it.
It's good. Go for it.
Okay, so this is 954 Norwich Road. I was here last month and we had an application for a 4,800 square foot pole barn for storage and a temporary office building. And here I am this month with plans to show a more permanent office space, a 2,700 square foot single story office building located to the left of the driveway leading into the property. We received comments from town staff, addressed all those comments today. The plans you have there reflect that. And I've also submitted a request to Ryan this evening for a waiver of the landscape buffer requirement, section 8.12. In lieu of that, we're offering, you'll see on the plans, a 10-foot wide raised landscape berm with arborvitaes on it. In addition to that, a 6-foot high chain link fence with privacy slats in it along that northern border with residential zone.
So in addition to the fence, will it be 5 feet, 8 feet with the vegetation?
10 foot wide.
10 foot?
10 foot wide raised bed with arborvitae. And sheet 3 of the set has a little better landscape plan. It shows that it takes arborvitae, a couple maples in there, as well as some shrubbery around it.
Got it. All right. Any comments or questions from board members on this application? So staff did have the following comments. An ADA sign location must be shown on the plan. A 25-foot vegetated buffer is required bordering the Dew Point property. Per 8.12 of the zoning regulations, a waiver request may be granted to reduce the 25-foot buffer. The commission usually requires a 6-foot vinyl fence with some plantings. The applicant will be submitting the waiver request for the 25-foot buffer. They propose a 6-foot tall chain link fence with privacy slats and a row of arborvitae. The fences and plantings will be located in the area that the neighbor is using as yard, meaning there's an encroachment onto the applicant's property. The proposed fence should be upgraded to 6-foot vinyl stockade.
That is consistent with previous adjustments and waivers we've done over the last year, Chair.
Agreed.
And I'm not opposing it, but just so you know, that the entire property is surrounded by chain link fence now, so it's being consistent with that and adding access. Vinyl fence would be not the place.
Ryan, since the recommendation came from staff, would you say a chain link with the privacy glass is similar to a 6-foot vinyl, or would you say the vinyl allows for more privacy than the chain link?
Not as attractive. So currently there's mature vegetation that's separating the driveway from the neighbor's home. The neighbors have encroached. That vegetation is coming down, so the neighbors are going to be looking at something substantially different from what they've been used to. Like I said, they were encroaching, they were in the wrong, but still, probably best to give them something a little nicer to look at.
So the standard, from recollection of previous applications, is that the 6-foot vinyl has been a standard
It's typically over
when we're reducing the vegetative buffer.
Correct.
Okay. All right. We can approve the application after voting on the waiver request, so we will consider the waiver request first. It is staff recommendation that the waiver be granted with the condition that the fence be upgraded to the 6-foot tall vinyl stockade fence. Staff also recommended that if approving the application with the following conditions, the Mylars must call out the location of the ADA parking sign. Erosion and sediment controls are to be installed and inspected by staff before beginning construction. The town engineer conditions, activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control, and call-outs for the proposed silt fence shall be added to the plan. All right, so does the board want to consider the waiver request first?
I think we should. I would recommend that I would move to approve the waiver on the stated condition that the fence be replaced in the proposal with a 6-foot tall vinyl stockade fence as is consistent with this commission's previous recommendations for waivers.
Okay, I have a motion by Bart.
I'll second that.
I have a second by June. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the waiver request is approved with the 6-foot vinyl stockade fence. So then moving on to the consideration of the application. We had 4 suggested conditions if approving. So when making your motion, if you could indicate those conditions as read.
I would move to approve the application given the waiver we just approved with the 4 conditions as read by the chair.
I'll second that.
I have a motion to approve with conditions by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Application is approved with those conditions as read.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item B, 25-8FA of Ernest Colello Jr. requesting 2-lot subdivision on property located at 58 Milner Ave, Assessor's Map 3M, Block 102A, Lot 1A, RA19, zoning district. Subdivisions required public hearing? Re-subdivisions, not subdivisions. Okay, got it.
All right, so good evening. For the record, Greg Law from Billingsley Engineering Associates. I'll just pass it out. Set plans for everybody. Plans that I'm passing out are the subdivision plan set. They are revised through to today's date.
And then what page are you on?
The page that I'm looking at here is sheet number 3, which is the site development plan.
Thank you.
So our property is located at the corners of Daggett Street and Milner Street. This is 0.88 acres that we have here. Currently, there is a house that will be on the northerly portion of it where you see it called Avenue there. That's the house that's presently being constructed. It's almost finished. Our proposal is to subdivide it. We're in the R19 zone, so we'll be creating 2 lots that do meet the regulations in both size and lot frontage and setbacks. We will be, as part of the subdivision regulations, we are setting the street line back to 25 feet from the center line of Daggett Street and Milner Street. We'll be providing also a 30-foot curve on the intersection there, just so there's more room for the town in the future if they want any improvements that will be done. And of course, that land will be deeded to the town to set that street line back and create it. We are served by public sewers out here, so we will be tying in the new home that's created on the corner lot there. Will be tying into the sewer. It will require a private well, as all the surrounding homes. And this is in a village area, so if you're familiar with the area, we do show all of the homes around it. Those are the squares and the rectangles that you see around it that are in this area. It's presently open lots. There's no clearing proposed. The one modification that we did today was by staff comment from Ryan. That's the reason for the revision. We just extended the silt fence up on the property line of the neighbor to the east, Mary Graybo. That was just, so we did make that one modification for it. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I do have, the only other items to discuss would have been the fee in lieu of open space. So presently we have one home on the lot. We're creating the one new home. I do have a letter here indicating that the value of the land was $72,000. We divide that amount in half and come up with $36,000, and the 10% of that would be $3,600 for fee in lieu of open space for that corner lot. And I think that's in keeping with what we've done from this commission in the past. So I will submit this. This letter is dated, today's date as well. So that's what we're asking the commission to consider on the application, and I'll turn it back over to the commission if you have any questions.
Thank you. Ryan, would you concur that that's consistent with previous past practice?
It is.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions from board members? So I think we do need a motion first on the open space and then a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to accept the $3,600, I believe.
Yep, $3,600.
For lot 2.
I'll make a motion to accept the 3600, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Motion by June to approve the fee in lieu of open space for $3,600 for lot 2. Second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none. The fee in lieu of open space is approved. For the application conditions, the fee in lieu of open space will be added to Mylars and to be paid upon transfer of proposed lot 2. Town engineer condition: activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impact to water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Do I have a motion on the application?
Make a motion to approve the conditions of Brent
Second that.
Motion to approve the conditions by John, second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Application is approved. Thank you.
very much.
Moving on to item C, 25-13 SPL of Greg Fettis requesting a site plan review to increase the outdoor storage area of 144, 146 Norwich Road, storage, etc. Assessors map 15, block 72, lot 4A, C2 zoning district. So we have a request from the applicant to continue the application to our December 9th meeting.
Move to continue to the December 9th meeting.
All right, I have a motion to continue. Second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Application is continued. Moving on to item D, 25-6ZC of Costco Wholesale Corporation requesting to change the zone of the following parcels to Industrial 2. 407 Tarbox Road, 0 Tarbox Road, 0 Howe Road, 0 Pine Lane, and 1197 Norwich Road. It is a zone change, so it does require a public hearing.
Move to schedule a public hearing for January 13th, 2026.
So you don't want to schedule that for the next meeting in December?
They requested
Oh, they requested January? Oh, okay, sorry, I missed that note.
That's
Thank you
okay.
for reading that note, Bart.
I got you.
All right, so I have a motion by Bart to schedule that for the January 13th meeting. I have a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is scheduled for January 13th. Item E, 25-5TA of Costco Wholesale Corporation requesting a text amendment to zoning regulations for section 9.31, 19.2, and 19.3.8. So this is a text amendment which also requires a public hearing.
Move to schedule public hearing January 13th, 2026.
I have a motion by Bart to schedule for January 13th. Second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Public hearing is scheduled for January 13th. Item F, 25-21SP of Sean Spa for the Plainfield Public School District requesting special permit for additional gravel parking at Shepherd Hill Elementary School. Because this is a special permit, it does require a public hearing.
We'll make a motion to schedule it on the public hearing on December 9th.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion scheduled for December 9th public hearing by June, a second by Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Public hearing is scheduled for December. Item G, 25-1PDD of Green Rubber Company, care of William Sweeney Esquire, applying under the Plan Development District Regulations, Section 11, petition to locate a light manufacturing business at 226, 230, and 238 Norwich Road. Plan Development District also requires a public hearing.
Move to schedule for the December 9th meeting of the commission.
I have a motion by Bart to schedule for December 9th, a second by John. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, scheduled for public hearing in December. Item H, 25-2PDD of Green Rubber Company, care of William R. Sweeney Esquire, applying under the Plan Development District Regulations, Section 11, detailed development plan for a light manufacturing business at 226, 230, and 238 Norwich Road, also requires a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to schedule that for December 9th.
I have a motion by Jude to schedule to the December meeting, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing scheduled for December. Item I, 25-9SA of Robert Jones, requesting a two-lot re-subdivision of property located at 155 Weston Road. Since this is a re-subdivision, it requires a public hearing.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to schedule it for December 9th.
All right, December 9th. I have a motion by June to schedule to December public hearing, and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearing is scheduled for December. Review and act on the minutes of the October 14th meeting. Were there any additions to the minutes, modifications, changes?
Move to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion to accept the minutes by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Any correspondence?
I don't believe we have any.
Anything additional? All right. Report from zoning enforcement. All right. Nothing new from the report. Report from planning.
Nothing new.
Nothing in addition. All right. Report from engineer.
Nothing to report.
Okay. So under other, we have a continuing discussion regarding the advisory letter to Siting Council. At this time, an application has not been filed with the Siting Council. Is that correct?
That's what I see.
Okay. So there was a meeting today of the Zero Waste Coalition with the Deep Waste Division. So they do currently have, this is regarding the trash plant proposal. So they have not gone to the Siting Council yet, but they do have a pending application with the Deep Air Unit, and they also have a pending application with the waste permit. But at this time, there's no public comment on those applications because they're still in the tentative decision-making process. So once a tentative decision has been made by Deep, then it opens up for a petition for public hearing. So we're just in a waiting on that. We have a continuing discussion regarding the implementing of violation fees. Did the board want to continue pursuing this with town attorney and seeing what other towns do in regard to violation fee schedule?
Has the attorney given us any guidance yet? That's the problem. This has been on the
Have they
agenda
weighed
for-
in?
We have not asked the attorney for anything.
Could we please? So the issue would be enforceability, right? And then also we can survey surrounding towns to see who has fee schedules, how they implement them, and also how they enforce them. That would be very helpful. We also had the continuing discussion of home occupation regulations. So Katie had prepared some information for board members to review in regards to that. It looks like these regulations have not been reviewed in quite some time, so it would probably be a good idea for the board to start looking at that and determining if updates need to be made. So an example would be like somebody who drives Uber or Lyft, right? So they're using a personal vehicle for business, that's technically a home occupation, which I don't believe is covered under regulations. Also, we want to consider some cottage businesses, like cottage industry, bakeries, those kind of things.
Those do require permits for those.
Oh, they are in there? Okay.
Not for regulations.
Okay.
State statute requires that cottage industries be allowed, under the home occupation permit.
Okay. Is it outlined in the regulations?
It is not, it's just,
So should we add it to just say to be in line with state?
we can add that, yes.
Okay.
It is covered under what is allowed with the home occupation regulations now, but we can call out specifically.
Okay, that sounds good to me. That explains why I missed it. But thank you. All right, any other items for discussion on those? All right, hearing and seeing nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right, motion by June.